Yo, so I'm back with another video for you, and in this week I'm going to be going over the day-to-day life of a Royal Marine recruit. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the bell button because I've got a whole series all dedicated to the Royal Marines. So I'm going to start by saying every day is going to be slightly different and every troop is going to be slightly different. So everyone is going to have a slightly different experience. However, there is going to be a whole list of things that are going to be the same every day. So to start with, there is phases to training. You start in a foundation phase, which is literally as it sounds. You start from the right foundation. So day one, you get off of the train, you meet your drill instructor who is going to be in charge of you over this foundation phase. You also meet your training team, you get sworn in, and when you get sworn in, that is basically your last chance to opt out. Once you're sworn in, it becomes a lot more difficult to then just exit, okay? So personally, when I went through training and we got in this room, everyone's in the same room and you get sworn in all together, basically stating that you're going to do your minimum of 4 years, there was 2 people that actually pulled out. So at the start of that, they say, listen, this is the final chance for you to be able to get out now. If there is anyone sitting here in this room that thinks they shouldn't be in there, there was actually 2 people in my troop that put their hand up and said, yeah, I don't think I should be here, and basically claimed that their parents and stuff was pushing them to go into the Marines, and they didn't actually truly want to do it, and they just upped and left. That was it. They were gone. So they lasted all of 5 minutes trying to become a Royal Marine Commando. No! So anyway, back to the point. So in this phase, you are broken down and they basically just create you into a number, into a blank canvas, which they can then mold into the end product that they're trying to achieve. They do this through various different methods. So first of all, you won't be having any phone, you won't be having any iPad, nothing like that, no contact to your outside world for a little while until at least foundation is over, or maybe you might get it for a few hours at night time. So you're kind of isolated in that respect. Your hair, obviously this would definitely not be allowed. You get your hair shaved off straight away. I actually started training knowing that you obviously get your hair shaved off all over, and I came with relatively short hair. I think it was like 1 on the sides, maybe like a 3 or a 4 on the top, and that definitely wasn't still good enough. I got sent straight to the camp butchers, which they call them, and they get the shears out and just basically put it all over. So that's another method. Got him! And also sleep deprivation, correctional phys. So like I say, in that foundation phase, they are breaking you right down, and they basically focus a lot on cleanliness. They actually teach you from the very, very bottom. So they will give you a demonstration of how to shower, how to wash, how to shave, how to clean your clothes without a washing machine, etc., etc. You don't have like a washing machine, nothing like that. You hand wash your clothes with soap and water and then dry them, along with being super neat. So everything has to be folded precisely. Your locker has to be exactly a certain way. Your bed has to be made exactly a certain way every morning. And every day you will be inspected probably multiple times throughout the day. So this goes throughout the whole of training. You wake up in the morning, you go for a shit, shave, and then shower. And then you get straight onto blocks. So you do your block cleaning. Someone will be mopping the floor. Someone will be getting all the dust, etc. And you will clean for maybe an hour or so. Followed straight up with an inspection of the block. So you're all standing by your beds, completely still, no noise, no nothing. And the team will come around, your training team will come around and basically pick you up. Even when you think that you have cleaned your ass off, there will be something that you have missed. So make sure that you are cleaning absolutely everything. You're polishing the grills in the shower.
Party starts, goddammit.
Let's move on to the next part of training, which I call the gym phase. So that is where the focus of fitness. Of course, you will be doing phys in that foundation phase, but I think that the primary thing is them breaking you down and sort of blank canvassing everybody, getting everyone into that mindset, and then you get put into this whole gym phase where the phys is really pushed hard. It's not like external phys where you're getting muddy and dirty. I'll come on to that later. This is the gym phase, so you'll be doing copious amounts of press-ups, copious amounts of sit-ups, a lot of body weight stuff, pull-ups, all of that good stuff. Camp circuits where you basically leave the gym and you do a lap of the entire camp to go back down to the gym. And during these phases and these sessions, you will not be stopped moving. So what do I mean by that? So say you are doing a circuit in the gym and all of a sudden the PTI screams at you to get outside and lined up ready for a camp circuit. When you get outside lined up, you're not going to be standing still. You'll get outside lined up and you'll be made, whilst you're waiting for everyone to line up, whilst you'll be waiting to go, to be running on the spot. And I don't mean just running on the spot so you're moving your feet barely off the floor. I'm talking your arms are swinging and you have to get your knees almost up to your chest whilst you're waiting there. So the fizz is hard graft, but it is all inside gym fizz in your shorts, trainers, etc. In that phase, you'll be taught how to do rope climbs as well in a controlled environment in the gym. You'll do copious amounts of fizz sessions, and then you'll do a gym pass out, and then that'll basically be you moving on to the next phase of training. You won't really be going into the gym, and you'll be moving on to bottom field, which is the grind, the dirty sort of training that you probably think of when you think of a Royal Marine Commando training. So bottom field, aka the devil's playground. Bottom field is a thing that you will see as you're pulling up on the train to the gates. It is literally there right by the tracks, and it's essentially a big assault course. It includes things such as running and jumping over water, climbing walls, pulling yourself across the rope and doing regains, which is essentially where you let go of the rope entirely and then you have to pull yourself back up and do a special method, which I'm not going to demonstrate right now. And also in that phase, you'll be introduced very quickly to wearing your webbing, which is all of your ammo pouches and whatnot around here, and also your rifle. So you will be wearing your rifle over your back and having your webbing on, so you've got that weight as well. It is no longer weightless training by that point. So something that pretty much stays the same the entire time that you are at Livingston is the food. Whilst you're on camp, you eat out of what is called the galley. It's basically a food hall. You have barely any time to eat any of your meals at every single point. What do I mean by that? If you are lined up outside of your block, let's say at 12 o'clock, and you have to make your way to where the galley is, let's say it's like a 5-minute walk away, and then you've got however long to eat your food, and then you've got a 5-minute walk back, but you're outside at 12 waiting to be let go to lunch by whoever, your training team or the drill instructor, maybe you're in foundation still, they will probably give you about 4 minutes to do the entire thing and get back into that into that spot. So just expect that you will be eating very, very fast.
Obviously, that's the perfect scenario.
One method is making everything into a sandwich. So if you go down there and let's just say there's spaghetti bolognese on, or there's some sort of stew, if you get 2 pieces of bread, which there's 9 times out of 10 there's always bread readily available there, you just put everything into a sandwich, squish it down and get it down as fast as you possibly can, because you do not want to be late. That is something that you do not want. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, someone out of all of them people in your troop will be late, and he will not be the only person that gets punished from that, but you'll soon see that. So along with the grueling bottom field sessions, you're doing fireman's carries and you're doing all this grizz fish, you also will be going on to exercises now. You'll be doing exercises pretty much from the first sort of few weeks into training, but they will now be starting to ramp up and you'll be learning more and more whilst you're going on the exercises. They'll develop, so you'll start with only introducing a few things into the exercises, then by the end you'll be doing everything as if you're simulating like a war zone. Yeah, boy. Another one to mention is swimming. So again, swimming will be introduced in foundation. That'll be one of your types of fizz sessions if you aren't doing the gym. And swimming will actually stay in longer than the gym phase because you actually have a test in swimming. You'll be in your full rig, you'll be having your weapon on, you'll be having the rifle. It'll be a rubber rifle, but it'll be exactly the same weight to simulate you're in that kit. So the swimming test isn't actually that long. So you start with all of your kit, you're on the board, which is a few meters above the water. You basically jump in, cross your arms, jump into the water, come up, you swim a length, come back, you then have to tread water for 2 minutes, I believe. You swim round to the other side, you have to dive down and pick up a brick off the bottom, and then you tread water again for 2 minutes. Something along them lines, but by that point you will have done enough drowning sessions that you will actually be pretty good at swimming and you'll probably be able to smash it. Okay. Final one that I can think of off the top of my head, which is in throughout the entire time that you will be in training, is the lessons. So you actually go and have presentations from different departments, different people, all of the time, in between the fizz sessions, in between the exercises, the bottom fields, etc, etc, etc. You could have like a signals lesson, for example, where they teach you about comms, they teach you about using radios on a big PowerPoint, and that's where actually the name for nods really come from, because when you're in them classrooms and you've been absolutely smashed, very much sleep deprived, you'll be sitting there uncontrollably doing this. And that is why the name nods is used for recruits, because they're constantly nodding because they're literally falling asleep on the spot.
That was legitness. Yeah.
And then you'll be made to stand up, and sometimes if you're that depleted, you will be falling asleep while standing up. If you've never done that before, you'll soon know about it. And if your training team manages to find any sort of spare time in between the lessons, the phys sessions, the swimming, the bottom field, the exercises, there will probably be some correctional phys. So what does that mean? Thrashings.
How is it?
Good.
Think you're enjoying?
Yes, correctional phys. In between any time that you might have spare, expect there to be a little sprinkling of some correctional phys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel down below. I've got a whole series where I go into the actual Commando tests, I go into field exercises, I go into all sorts, the reason why I actually left the Corps. Until then, I'll see you next time. Boom.